following a plan has gotten me kind of back on track. And if I break it down into those incremental bits, then I can accomplish it. At first, it seems like it's something that's overwhelming, but break it down into little parts and just get going. Just do it.
So, if you can, start off by introducing yourself. Tell us who you are, how old you are, where you're from, and what it is that you do.
Okay, I'm BJ Rogers. I'm from Flower Mound, Texas. I'm 52 years old and I'm in transportation and logistics.
Okay, excellent. So you're pretty busy in your everyday life.
Yeah, I am. I get an early start. My day. I like this morning. I got to work at 6:30, and I'll be at it all through business hours today. So it's a pretty good clip.
Okay, okay. And remind me, you started what about 11 weeks ago in regards to the accelerated method. And is that correct?
It was, yeah, New Year's revolution, right?
New Year's resolution. Okay. And can you share why is it that you joined? What was life like back for you then? What problems were you facing? And how did you feel overall?
Well, you saw the pictures. I'm about 6'1", and I was carrying 240, and um, you know, I was the energy level. I was pretty good in the morning, as long as I stayed chock full of caffeine. And then the afternoons after lunch, after I'd eat something bad for lunch, I'd hit the funk again at mid afternoon and need caffeine to get through the afternoon. And then you know how that affects the sleep. So not sleeping well, lack of energy, just and honestly, reaching 52, and it had been a while since I had really been committed to a physical training regimen, and starting to kind of wondering if I could still do that, and just didn't have the confidence that I do today,
Yeah.
and those kind of things. So just a kind of a man, not a good spot that a guy that's supposed to be an executive vice president leading an organization is supposed to be in. So I just kind of I needed something different, and so that's the reason we're here.
I see, man. So for you, you had gotten to that point where at 52, the years had went by and you had gotten to a position to where the mornings started off a little bit slow unless you had caffeine, right? And then all of a sudden, you'd get up all the way up until maybe the afternoon, and then it'd be another caffeine hit after maybe eating something junky for lunch to not have to crash out. And obviously, you put on a little bit of excess weight over the years, and maybe you were feeling a little bit heavier than you were. For you, even expanding on that, how bad did it get for you, and what specific toll would you say that it was taking on your personal and professional life? We'll start with like professional, because as you said, VP executive, you got a lot of responsibilities, you're leading a team. Like, how bad did it get, and what toll was it taking on you?
Well, I explained to you when we started. Economic downturn is it really impacts the transportation industry, and we had a tremendous amount of success in 22, and 23 was brutal. And you just spend a lot of time, instead of growth mindset, you're trying to figure out how to cut and do all those type things. And it's painful to do. And you know when you're I mean when you're not feeling confident, and you're I was spending too much time in my head, and I needed something to focus on besides all the garbage going on with the work. And I mean, we're still in heavy lifting with regard to the turnaround and that kind of thing, but I'm able to deal with it because I've gotten more focus. I know what I'm doing in the morning, instead of uh, grabbing that cup of coffee and sitting in the recliner and putting on NFL Network and desk scrolling on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't drink coffee at home anymore because I don't have time in the mornings. I
Yeah.
get up I normally respond to you in the morning that I'm up, which you're an hour ahead of me. So it's 4:30 in the morning my time. But
Yeah.
and I get stretched and then I try to wake the wife up and have her coffee ready so she can watch me work out in the living room every morning. So, you know, but that's helped me. I mean, and I needed a change as far as the routine. And it's been a blessing for me, honestly.
Well, you've absolutely dominated, and we're going to get to that in a second, and the results that you've created for yourself during by doing everything and following the protocols at hand. But even with the energy not being there, and obviously you were experiencing just the normal day stresses of work and ups and downs that were going on with the company. For you, how was not having the energy or carrying the extra weight? How was that affecting you on the day to day?
You look at yourself in the mirror, right? And you just don't see, I mean, like, damn, dude, you don't see, you don't feel good about what you're looking at. And it would inspire me to go work out twice. And then I'd be back, well, I hit it twice and now I'm good for a little bit. And, it just, I didn't feel confident about myself this has been good timing for me.
Yeah, no, absolutely, man. And when you say, because I see you as such a confident guy, so when you say I wasn't feeling confident in myself, can you expand on that? Like, how was not having confidence showing up for you? Where did you notice it the most?
Well, I guess it's kind of a number of different things. I knew that I wasn't really taking care of myself, and I was, um, I knew that it wasn't sustainable. And if I didn't do something, I'm 240 now, I'll be 260 next year. Just again, spending too much time in between my ears, thinking about, and it's just, again, the focus that following a plan has gotten me kind of, back on track. And if I break it down into those incremental bits, then I can accomplish it. It's not, at first, it seems like it's something that's overwhelming. You and all your technology and everything. Uh, but break it down into little parts and just get going. Just do it. And it starts getting easier and you learn it. And next thing you know, you're doing the movement every day and doing the little things, and it all adds up.
How about from a focus and productivity standpoint? Where was it before you and I started working together and you joined the program? And where have you found it to be now?
Well, I told you that we had some, we were in tough times and had some tough things going on. And I found myself, kind of seeking solace in other things, whether it was 24/7 sports or, things like that, and instead of turning into the situation and what I, needed to do to try to, I guess, remedy it. So, but this thing has definitely had me more focused, and I show up and I'm ready to play ball, and I know what I've got to do, and I'm leading the team, and the results are improving, and those kind of things. So um, that's helped tremendously.
I love it. So before you were so lacking focus and lacking energy that you knew issues and things that need to be resolved at work, but because of the state that you were in physically, mentally, and just not having that energy, you just kind of like you said, either dove into the NFL network or just kind of whether you call it death scrolling on your phone, it was kind
Right.
of almost avoiding the things instead of facing them head on. Where now since joining, you got that focus, you got that fire, you got that energy, and you're taking things head on instead of avoiding them.
It definitely has. You talk about a little fire in your belly, and it had been a while since I'd had the burn, right? And
Yeah.
and some, professionally, I feel like I'm prepared to, take on the challenge every day. I'm, the movement every day. It used to be something that I dreaded, and really labored on thinking about, well, I've got to get up and do this or whatever. And I've reached a point for the first time, I think, in my life that I believe it's sustainable. And, I don't dread it when I get up. It's just part of the day. I mean, I just got to do it. Don't think about it, just do. And I really believe that, again, I've never been in that state. I've had times where I would hit it for a couple of months or something like that, pretty, um, I guess, consistently. But this is the first time that I'm not looking at a finish line, and we've had a lot of success here in a short period of time, and I think there's more to be done. I've got 10 more pounds to get off, and you know, um, who knows? I mean, I may end up a 53-year-old with a washboard. You never know what might
You never
happen.
know. You keep up the effort, man. There's plenty of possibilities for you to grab. And I would say, before we get into the results, because you've created some awesome results for yourself by following everything within the protocol and everything here. I want to know from you, because if you think, there may be another guy, if he's actually not skipped through this video, if he's watching this right now, he's in a high level position like yourself, right? He's a genuine high achiever, but maybe he's hit a point where things have a little bit stagnant. He may have the train of thought that he may not have time to take care of himself. For you, what have you found as the value when you said, I just got to get up and just do it? What have you find the value in getting up and fitting your own oxygen mask and going first? How has that impacted the rest of your day and how you show up?
Well, like I said, I previously, I grab the cup of coffee, feed the dog, grab the coffee, sit in the recliner, turn on NFL Network, and desk roll till it's time to go get a shower. And I mean, I wasn't focused. I mean, it was just so it was total lack of focus starting the day, right? No plan whatsoever. Just, drink the coffee, watch whatever happens, try to prepare for fantasy and then go to work and show up at work with, I haven't given any thought to what I had to do today is just show up and ride. But now, again, from the moment I wake up, I've got a plan and it's laid out for me. And like I said, when you first get in it does seem like a lot, but you just have to, just breathe and take them one at a time and do it day after day after day. And then it reaches a point where you don't even think about it, man. You're just doing it. So you've knocked that out in the morning. You're checking the boxes off. You've experienced success before you ever walk out the door, right? And
Yeah,
so you show up and you're focused. And you're like, damn, I've got it going. I've got some momentum, right? We talked
right.
about motivation and momentum. I've got momentum behind me today. I don't have to, find a song on the radio to motivate me for 5 minutes. So I show up, I kick the door in, and I'm ready to go to work.
I love it.
So and I've got a high level of energy, and it's been a great thing for me, and it's again I feel like it's sustainable.
I love that, man. And what has your experience been like and also meant to you during the short period of time that we've been collaborating and working together within here? What has your experience been like?
I've You've been very encouraging to me, and I when we initially, I mean, when we started out, I thought that there would be, a lot of ass kicking or something like that. But I do believe that you meet us where we are. And it's from I guess, a fitness standpoint and dietary standpoint and everything else. And you take us at our pace. And ultimately it's up to us to do the work. But, it's, we've had something positive to talk about every time we've gotten on here. And and I'm seeing the results. You're seeing the results. Everybody else is seeing the results. So it's been a very positive experience at a time when I needed it.
Well, that makes me happy just for the simple fact because you've come to the table and you've put in the work, and even though there's been constant positivity, even when you've had challenges, you've stepped up, you've been open, you've been very coachable, and it's been an absolute blast. And when during that time, and when you talk about positivity and you doing the work, putting in the effort, what specific results have you gotten just within these last 11 weeks?
Well, I've dropped 21 pounds,
Yes.
and that was a huge thing. Again, I spoke to you about focus, right? That I've gotten kind of through the demons in my head, and then the energy level has increased significantly. I have, like I said, I don't drink coffee at the house in the morning, but I have a cup when I get here,
Right.
and that's it for the day. I'm focusing. I've tried to cut out the afternoon stuff because sleep at my age, 52, becomes a premium, and so I've tried to pay more attention to what I'm doing in that regard so that I can sleep and recover. And um, you know, you've encouraged massages and all those things, and I spoke to you about Zeal and what were the couples massages, and that's been a great. The wife certainly doesn't have any problem with the recovery days,
I
so
bet not.
that's been fun. But and I'll tell you, it's a good solid plan. I'll tell you, this time I did the work, the hydration and everything else, but I really have lived life this whole 10, 11 weeks. I mean, we've had all kinds of things from Super Bowl to birthdays to 30th anniversaries to Valentine's Day, you name it, every reason to go blow, the plan. And I had a hell of a lot of fun and did what I wanted to do. But I did the work, and I got back on track the next day and stayed focused on it and peeled off what I might have put on over the weekend. But I don't feel like that I've really made a tremendous amount of sacrifice. And when I stopped viewing it as, work and, I've got to give up this and that, I think that's what it's kind of retrained my brain to think that I can do this for a long period of time, right?
That's
So
that's the name of the game, man. Sustainability, right?
uh,
It's when you try to do something and restrict yourself and give up on the joys of life and the pleasures of life. Well, it's no wonder people will start something and then stop it because it's like, man, you still want to have fun. You want to enjoy yourself. And you've done all that during this time here, still lost 21 pounds. You're coming in, you're fired up, you're focused, you're bringing that focus ready to, weaponize and dominate the day. Your energy is high level. You're leading the team. You're inspiring them. It's been remarkable to watch. And for you, once you created all of those results for yourself, what else has changed for you? What else has been different?
well, I told you when we started that the wife and I didn't have a problem with chemistry. Um,
Right? Okay.
that was pretty good. And even at 240, she told me that I was attractive and all that stuff. But there's a difference when you peel off 21 pounds, right? And and again, I told you I thought it was pretty good, but it's hell of a lot better now. And I know she's attracted to me. She's not just saying it to try to make me feel better. So
Yeah.
um, you know, so that's that, and that's important.
So you've lost 21 pounds, right? Energy's through the roof. What other impacts have you noticed? Like, I know you mentioned maybe you went to go get your blood work done. What have you noticed maybe that where you were before, and what has the doctor told you of where you are now with things?
Well, I've struggled with blood pressure and cholesterol and been on those medications, all my adult life. And honestly, even though I was medicated before we started the plan, my blood pressure was trash. And and I could feel it, and I went for a physical the other day, and of course, my numbers from a blood work standpoint are all that they look better than they've looked in years. And you know, the crazy thing is my resting heartbeat has gotten down in the 40s, and
Wow.
the doctor's like, hey, that's probably a little low, and it's we're since you've lost the weight, we're probably going to have to either adjust or get you off the blood pressure meds. And
So that's good. So you're potentially getting closer and closer. Your blood pressure, do you know where it was before and where it is now?
man, I would be in the you know the high 180s,
Wow.
and low on the 90s on the other side, and then now I'm down in the so I went the other day, and I was like in like 125 over 72 or something like that. And I was like, where'd that come from?
So it's dropped dramatically, so much so that your doctor is basically proposing, which I know was one of your main goals, is hey, get off that blood pressure medication.
Right, right. So
Phenomenal, man.
yeah.
Phenomenal.
So we keep going, man. I may get off that stuff. So
That's it, man. We want to get you off that, living life, still enjoying yourself, and not have to be, what is it? I guess, being the guy that has to be on medication for the rest of his life because
right,
out of habits that you can control, right?
right. Absolutely.
Bingo. How has this been different than anything you've ever experienced before and in the past?
I guess even more so than the physical changes is I mean, we've changed what I've got going on in my head, man. Um, that's and that's powerful, and you get that piece working for you. And I had just kind of gotten into a slide, and was just kind of stale, oatmeal. And now I feel like, I'm the focus and just the confidence that I can do this. I mean, I've missed one day of movement since January 2nd,
That's
and we're at
insane, man.
March 20th. When have I ever done that in my life other than when I was playing ball in college, right? And I
Right.
had
When,
to
when,
do
when, when you had to do it, right?
it. If I didn't, they'd kick my ass. But no, just doing it myself. And again, it's just it's become part of who I am. And it's not, I don't sit around dreading it. I mean, I went out with my buds Friday night, and we had SmackDown Saturday morning. And I didn't respond to you when you put it out there, but I woke up and I said, you know
But you
what?
showed up.
I said, I was going to work out anyway, but I said, you know what? Hell with it. I'm going to do it. And we had fun, and hell, I hung in there. So,
You did,
um,
man. You did outstanding, man. And the fact that you, again, like you said, going out with your buds, living your life, enjoying yourself, and yet still only missing one day because it started to shift who you see yourself as. And I think one of the things that you look at, I think hopefully by now you realize this goes well beyond the physical,
right. It's
right?
absolutely. I told you
This,
that the mental gains here have been phenomenal.
yeah,
Um,
and
and honestly, when you come into something like this, and it's New Year's, I call it revolution, right? Um, but when we started, I mean, you walk in and you feel like it's going to be some kind of Spartan program, and I can't eat anything, and can't I got to hide from my friends for 3 months, and that kind of thing. And I've not done that, man. I've lived life, but I've done the work, and I've done the hydration, and you and if you do those things, that's the reason I believe it's sustainable. Is I've gotten results, and I've had a hell of a lot of fun in the process.
that's it, man. Like still being able to enjoy yourself. And I think that mindset shift, because a lot of guys don't wake up one day and say, hey, I want to change my mindset or I need to change my mindset, right? Most guys will come out on the other side like you are here and go, wow, I had no idea that it was this, the 6 inches of real estate between my ears that had anything to do with my actual results. So would it be fair to say that a lot of high achievers like yourself, that it took a different train of thinking in order for you to get to the result that you are? That the one thing that was stopping you before was that you thought maybe had certain patterns that led to your initial success, but in order to get to a new state, you had to think a little bit differently. Would that be fair to say, or am I off there?
No, I truly believe that. I mean, I started out with a goal in mind, but again, it'd been so long since I'd done that. I mean, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna say I want to lose 20 pounds, but I don't can I do this, But and again, is I just think you've talked a lot about just ambition and momentum and just get moving. And if you get moving, get some momentum behind you, and it fuels you forward. And rather than and it's not a grind, honestly. I've at 52, I hope I've got a lot of fairway in front of me. And, I'd like to be able to walk down that fairway instead of, somebody push me in a wheelchair down that fairway. So, I'm trying to do things at this point in my life that'll set me up to, be able to enjoy myself you know, when I'm not working every day.
Yeah, well, you keep doing what you're doing, man. You're gonna be, I mean, by 90, 100, you're gonna be one leading the pack and taking them all. Ain't nobody pushing you nowhere, right? You're pushing,
Right.
driving them forward, man. So
Right.
if you keep at it, which I'm gonna encourage you to do, for you, what specifically have you liked the most about this experience, about joining something like this? Like, what have you really genuinely enjoyed the most?
Well, obviously you and I get the opportunity to come together and review results and everything like that. And it's no different than, when you're doing really well at work and you have a performance review and your boss gives you positive feedback and you can see the results and you got something to share. And just the accomplishment, and I have to tell you, you can look at it and see. You get the pictures, the before and afters from when we started. I send them to you every week, and when the wife takes the picture, I mean, she makes the side by sides of those pictures. She gets a kick out of it, and she's sending it to the kids, and uh, then I finally look at it, and I'm like, "Holy crap! What's going on here, dude?" So I look forward
Making
to
changes, man, transforming.
course, I look forward to the pictures, and before the pictures, I'm down on the floor repping out push-ups and all this, pumping it up. But it's been fun just having a plan and working the plan and then having success. And just I feel like I've got momentum going right now, and I don't see any reason why I should get derailed or anything like that. I told you I haven't lived Spartan. I mean, I've had a hell of a lot of fun, done everything I wanted to do, had vacations and all that. But, I've just a little more focus, little more focus on what I might be intaking, a lot more hydration, and then, and then just do the movement, you know.
Bingo, man. Just follow the plan, stay consistent, see yourself as a different kind of guy and how you identify and lead by example, which you've done a very great job at. For you, because you mentioned a lot of things about like, oh man, you come into something like this, at 52, and you're thinking like, oh, am I gonna have to go all Spartan, or some might think of it as like beast mode, or can I really do this? So for you, what would you say was your biggest worry or concern about joining in here?
Well, the commitment piece at first, to be frank with you, because it'd
Yeah.
been so long and I had just been so uncommitted to anything, from fitness and dietary standpoint. And for me, I attached, uh, when I pay for something, I typically, that's the hook, was the initial hook that got me I paid for this, and
Yeah, you invested in it, right?
uh,
And you wanted to make good on your investment, right?
well, I mean, if I'm gonna pay for something, I've got to get off my can and, do the work, otherwise, I mean, my wife
Absolutely.
knows I pay for it, and she's like, well, why don't you just not pay for it and save the money if you're just not going to do the work? So initially that got, put the hook in me, and I was like, hey, it's go time and you need to do this. But then again, at that point I hadn't retooled what was between the ears, and I've got friends that are older than me that have been committed to workout regimens and have taken better care of themselves than I was doing. And I'd always look at them and just say, what the hell? Why, how do they do that all the time? And they didn't wrestle with it like I did. And I've reached that point now where it's a part of, it's a part of life. And I don't necessarily roll out the bed every morning, ready to run up the mountain or anything. But I've got a regimen, and I just fall and start, I go mix my lemon water, and, you know, next thing I just get in the groove, dude.
Yep.
You can
Get in the
slide in
groove.
the same, you can slide in one groove, or you can, get results in another groove. And I've just kind of taken a different groove here. So,
Bingo. The progression groove rather than regression groove. And
right,
for you, it was like, okay, that commitment of like the moment is basically you putting your money where your mouth was, right? You were like,
right.
hey, if I'm going to do this, right, let's do it, right? Let's stop dabbling. And that was the initial, like, kind of concern for you. Um, what, even after that concern, which is a valid concern, what were you skeptical about when you made the decision to start, if anything at all? And what did I do or the program do at the core to alleviate your concern as well as any skepticism you might have had?
Well, it, it again, it does seem like a lot coming at you. And if you look at all the daily plan and everything you got to check off on the plan, and it can seem overwhelming. And you know, you felt it from me when we were on the phone and I was signing up. I mean, you were like, "Hey, you need to get WhatsApp. You need to get
Yeah, I had to
stream
get you
coach. You
set
need to
up
get
with all the technology, right?
and all these things." And I'm like, here we go. But and that was a little intimidating. I'm like, golly, can I keep up? I can't keep up with Facebook and Twitter now, and I'm like, uh, but all that stuff, once you get it set up and you go through it, it's really, the lessons are right there in front of you every week to do, and you've got, you're told exactly what to do. It's like just follow the plan, and it just pretty soon you're not thinking about it. That was overthinking. It was the big challenge was, all this stuff that I've got to try to do. And you really don't have, don't grind on it, just do it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
next thing you know, it's not scary. And that was the biggest thing is, could I keep up with all that stuff? And, you know, and it's not become something that it doesn't impede my life. Again, I've had a hell of a lot of fun the last 3 months, and but I, make time on uh, active rest days, Saturday and Sunday, and typically Sunday is I'll put the headphones on and walk the dog and listen to the new session and get my head right for um, the week to come. So that was kind of it. It was just it's a lot at one time, but you just can't get overwhelmed by it. Just start moving, man.